What's up YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I will be installing some diff covers on the Axial SCX24 Jeep indoor crawler. So if you're not familiar with the channel, consider subscribing. I'm doing a build on this little SCX24 Jeep, and it's wrapped up entirely in this playlist, which you should definitely check out. So I will be giving away this Jeep at the end of the playlist. For more information on that, stick along to the end of the video. So for today's video, if you've been following along, you know that the weight with all these scale accessories has been hindering the Jeep's performance. So I went ahead and got some diff covers off of Amazon. So these are the Skylety 2-piece brass diff cover, front, rear, heavy duty differential cover, bridge, axle cover, accessory, brass diff cover, brass compatible with Axial SCX24 124 RC crawler. So that was a mouthful. These were $15.99 on Amazon, so they're a steal. So it's kind of a budget thing, but pretty sure it'll do just fine on the SCX24. So let's get these guys opened. So there is one diff cover with the screws, hardware, and a little L key. And here is the second one with the diff cover and the L key and the screws. So that's pretty cool. So I don't know, does it say the weight on these guys? I'm not too sure if it does. Alrighty, so I believe each of these is 8 grams. It was kind of hard to tell from the description, it wasn't really listed. But I'm gonna go with 8 grams each. So that should add some weight down low to the Jeep. So first things first, let's get the body off and then we'll start to get these guys on. Before we get started, just want to let you guys know that the link will be in the description for these diff covers. So now that the body is off, the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna grab our Wera 1.3 hex, great quality tool I use in all my videos. The link will be in the description too. We're gonna do that, and we are going to remove the rear diff cover. So there's 6 screws back here in the rear. The top 2 are gonna be longer than the bottom 4, so just keep that in mind when you're putting everything back together. And so we're just gonna undo the 6 real quick. Alright, so now that all 6 of the screws are off, we're simply going to pop off the diff cover. And so here is the stock diff cover. And as you can see, there is a bearing in the diff cover, and we want to remove that bearing because we're going to be using it in our new diff covers. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. I normally just grab my hex tool, kind of just wedge it out. Be careful not to damage the bearing. And there we go, so there is our bearing. So we're going to save that. Set that to the side, keep an eye on it. So now let's open up our diff covers. So here is the new diff covers. So it is brass, it does have a significant amount of weight to it, and provided with the diff cover is some new hardware. And so there is the hardware. I believe you have the option to use the old hardware or you can use the new hardware. I'm just gonna use the new hardware because it looks cool, why not? So now that we have the diff cover off, we're gonna grab our old bearing right there, and we're gonna put it in this little pocket. It should go in pretty easily, fit perfectly in. That's awesome. Now we're gonna grab our 1-Up gold. I put this in my shocks. If you haven't seen that video before, check it out. And we're just gonna smear a little bit on the diff cover. Grab a little bit of it. I'm gonna put it back here on the gears in the differential. Ideally, I would have like a Q-tip or something, but I don't got anything on me right now, so we're just gonna go with that. Put a good amount in there. Keep everything running smoothly. Now that that's done, now we grab our diff cover and put it on. Pretty good fit. Now we just grab our screws and put everything back together. Like I said, the top 2 screws are going to be a little bit longer than the bottom 4, so just remember to do that. Alright, so there is the rear diff cover installed on the truck. You can definitely feel the added weight. The hardware fit in perfectly. The diff cover fit perfectly, no issues there. Definitely liking this product. So in the rear it's a lot easier to install because there aren't any linkages like there are up front, but we will be able to get through that. So let's do the front now. So I wanted to remind you guys, if you're interested in winning this Axial SCX24 Jeep Wrangler indoor build, Remember to subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram at miguelrubencortez, comment on a video in this build playlist, any video, and remember to like the video, and that's pretty much it. It'll be free. I'll ship it out to you anywhere in the lower 48 states. So yeah, good luck. So in the front there is the steering linkages and there's the servo and the servo horn. So I like to disconnect the steering link at this point right here. So we'll be able to Wera hex, get in here, a couple lefty loosies, and there it is, it's off. And then we can do this point right here as well. Alright, and so there is the access to the front diff. And so you could undo the steering knuckles and take off the wheels, but I kind of feel like it's unnecessary, so this is quite enough room for me. So now I'm just simply gonna undo the 6 screws like I did in the rear, and then we'll get to take off the cover. So I have successfully removed all 6 of the screws, and now it's time to pop off the diff cover. Simply pop it off. There is our bearing again like we did last time. We'll grab our hex, pop out the bearing, pretty easy. Grab our new diff cover, pop in the new bearing, grab some gold, lube up the bearing, some lube in the diff cover. And if you follow along with the YouTube channel, you know that in the previous video I did the overdrive trio gear, so there is already lube in there, so I don't have to put any more. And so now we're going to put the diff cover back on. And now we just put on all the screws, and then we will be ready to run this guy. Okay, and so now the front diff cover is installed on the SCX24. I definitely recommend unscrewing these steering linkages. It makes everything a lot easier. It opens up access to the diff cover, because if you didn't, you have to kind of maneuver around all these links and stuff, and just makes everything a lot more complicated. So I definitely recommend removing those when installing and removing a diff cover. So now I'm gonna put everything back together, and then we'll talk about the diff covers. Okay, and so there is the front diff cover, there is the rear. You can definitely feel some added weight to the Jeep. Let's see how it performs on the Impala crawl. So if you were following along to our previous video, you know it took a really big tumble in the overdrive gear video. So let's see if we can not do that this time. Oh, okay, so normally right here when it hits the windshield wiper, it immediately like kind of tips over. And there it's, ooh, it's staying planted up front. That's good to see. Oh, and my battery died. Of course it did. Okay, so it turns out that is the second battery that has died while trying to film this video. Let's just say that I need some better battery management. But from those results, those little results right there, it definitely keeps the front planted more. So yeah, comparing these weights to the Hot Racing and the KYX weights. The KYX were aluminum, so it didn't really add any much weight. That was just more for looks. The Hot Racing do add weight, and I just think the name brand of them kind of makes them worth more. But I would definitely recommend getting these, whatever they were called. They're definitely budget weights. But they look the same, they function the same. There's not really much of a performance difference, I could say. It's just weight. So yeah, definitely check these out if you're not too into name brands and you want to save that cash for your budget build. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. I'm really excited to give away this build, so continue following along with the channel because it's coming up real soon. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.